better than imperfection. Perfection means flawless.
Yes, we'll never get perfection.
Imperfection means that they have flaws. Having flaws is worse than not having flaws, right? Jessica, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Just the way that we are created is that we're just going to have
flaws. I don't want to hear all this extra nonsense. I want you to respond directly, because like there's a bunch of cognitive dissonance here I have to work through. So can you just engage with the specific point? Is perfection preferable to imperfection?
Yes.
Okay. So if we were to look at, there's two states of existence. One state of all existence. Say there's one universe and another universe. One universe, there is everything within that universe is perfect. Nothing within that universe is imperfect. The other universe, there are some things within the universe that you could deem from an individual basis are perfect, other things that are not perfect. All things considered, though, it's not perfect. Which is preferable? The first universe or the second universe?
I'm going to liken this to like a heaven situation versus an earth situation, because I think that could be like actually like pretty like, on par with what you're saying. I'd say the first one's preferable.
So the perfection is preferable to imperfection?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So God existing alone prior to all creation. God is perfect, right? All things in existence, when God exists alone, are perfect. Okay? God has a choice to choose to create the world or to not create the world. Okay? What are the two options? The two options are you stay in existence where it's God alone, or you move to existence where it's God plus creation. Creation is not perfect. There are flaws within creation. There are sins, right? There's a bunch of evil that exists in the world we live in. So creation is not perfect. Okay, so there's a choice between no creation and creation. If creation is imperfect, necessarily in the long run, and no creation is perfect, that means no creation is desirable to creation, because perfection is desirable over imperfection. And to say that God desired to create over to not create would to logically entail a contradiction. To say that a perfect God desired to create an imperfect state of affairs.
Well, you're trying to
over a preferable perfect state of affairs.
You're trying to put God in a box, is what you're doing. But I'll engage.
Of logic? You mean of reason?
Yeah, because you actually can't logically explain.
You see what I mean? So, like, you inevitably have to reduce your position down to your position is not logical and can't be explained using logic.
Well, how would you be able to logically explain God?
Yeah, how can you logically explain this? Exactly. Without contradiction, you can't.
How would an ant
How do you logically explain this without contradiction? You can't. That's the issue.
Parker, we don't...
That's literally the reason why I'm bringing this up as an issue, is because you can logically disprove the existence of the Christian God that is perfect, because a perfect God cannot possibly exist if we exist in a world where there are imperfections, where there's sin.
That's just our human brains trying to.
No, that's logic. That is logic. It's not just my human brain. It's logic.
You cannot logically. How would you logically?
It's like 1 + 1 = 2. That's what it's like.
1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, if Christianity logically, wait, if Christianity, like this is your argument. This is your argument. If in the Bible it said 1 + 1 = 3, okay? In the same sense of the terms we're using 1, 2, and 3, okay? If in the Bible it said that, you'd have to say, yes, that's actually true. We can't logically explain this, but it's true because God claimed it. And everything God says is true. That's what you'd have to say. You'd have to say that. Because again, you can't logically explain these things. That would have to be your explanation. Do you see how absurd that would be?
All I'm trying to say is you cannot apply human logic to a supernatural being.
You can't apply, it's not human logic, it's just logic. Well, it's not just for humans. Like, there could be alien species could use logic. Do you agree?
Well,
so it's not just human logic, it's logic in general.
Yeah, but coming from humans, obviously, because we're the
human's analysis of logic. But what is wrong with the logical analysis I just made? It logically follows that it's literally not possible for God to create in that condition.
But Parker, again, we're talking about a supernatural being outside of space and time. How can you apply what we know in our small human brains compared to what God's overall plan is for everybody? You just couldn't do it.
Because I can determine that 1 + 1 = 2. Okay?
Yes.
I can determine that squared circles can exist. I can determine that A = A. So although I'm not all-knowing, I can determine whether something is logical or illogical. And I've clearly determined, based upon a very clear argument here, that it's illogical. If your whole basis for response is, oh, us human beings can't make determinations on things, well then why are you even making a determination of who you support in the first place, or what religious prescription you believe in the first place? You're a human being. You can't make those determinations. Let Jesus take the wheel.
Well, obviously, no matter what we do, that will be the case. But I guess what I'm trying. I mean, you're never gonna. I mean,
So
it's
why
okay, you're
even
not
why
gonna-
even look into any of these topics in the first place?
What do you mean? Do you think God created us not to question anything? He just created us just to, what? I mean, obviously you don't. I mean,
I don't
even know,
believe I don't believe in the Christian God. I think that's nonsense.
Do you believe in God? Any
No.
God? Any creation at all?
I think it's possible for there to be some notion of a God that existed, but it can't be a perfect notion of God. It can't be any of the notions of God of the Abrahamic religions, because they have a perfect notion of God. It's literally logically impossible. Now, like, I can understand that you're like, oh, I want to believe this because it makes me feel good. It gives me a good feeling for, like, explaining what's life after death or whatever. It makes me feel good